Hello, everyone out there in YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego, and today we will continue to talk about Officer and a Gentleman. That's right, Officer and a Gentleman. Ooh, I need some coffee for this one. Damn. I actually enjoy this movie a lot. I remember the first time I watched it. I told you that story already, right before I joined the Marines back in the mid '90s. I was about to join the Marines. I already signed the contract. I had a few weeks to go before I actually had to fucking go to fucking San Diego. So I decided I was going to watch a bunch of military movies, which wasn't something that I typically did. I mean, I saw Full Metal Jacket with my dad, back in the '80s when I was a kid, but I didn't typically look for military movies, at that time. I did afterwards. Once I joined the military, I started looking at military movies. But this was one of the ones that I watched to prepare myself for what was coming, okay, in the military, all right? Did it prepare me? I think it prepared me a little bit, but it didn't really go in depth with the shit that I was going to have to face in my military career, okay? But at least I had somewhat of a heads up. Okay, this guy right here, this Zach Mayo. Oh my God, he goes to boot camp. He goes to his version of boot camp, Officer Candidate School, and he gets laid like within the first 3 months he's there. I mean, what the fuck, man? My first year in the Marine Corps, I didn't get laid for a fucking year. Okay, a fucking year. Okay, what the fuck, man? I mean, what kind of boot camp is he going through? This is some bullshit, man. This wasn't fucking basic training. This was a fucking spa, dude. He was at a fucking resort, dude. That's what his boot camp was like. What the fuck was this, man? They're having dances and shit, and they're hanging out in fucking hotel rooms and getting fucked. Get the fuck. They're hanging out on boats. What the fuck kind of boot camp is that? That's not a fucking boot camp I ever fucking went to. Let me tell you. Okay? No, man. We were fucking locked up. There were no women around. Okay? Even once we graduated boot camp, fucking all of us guys that had girlfriends and shit, we found out they all cheated on us. So boom, now we're all single again. Not me though. My girlfriend and I actually broke up before I went to boot camp because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to stay with her seriously, and join and have my military career at the same time. So I was smart. I broke up with her before we went, okay? But not so many other guys that were in my class in my cycle were as smart as me. Okay, a lot of those guys, man, they got the Dear John letters, once we graduated, they went home and found that their girlfriend was fucking somebody else. It's like it pretty much happened to everybody, even the guys that were married. The idiots that got fucking married before they went to boot camp. They didn't have wives anymore. Someone had taken their wife off their hands. Okay. While we were all fucking locked up at MCRD San Diego. It's sad, but it's fucking true. And they don't tell you this in the recruitment commercials. They don't tell you this. Your recruiter's not going to tell you this shit. Okay, I wish somebody told me this stuff. But they're not. Okay, these movies aren't going to glamorize it. Okay, now these movies here, these military movies, typically whenever you're going to use the military for real, they have to have like a military consultant on the set to advise the filmmakers on how things work and stuff like that. And they also have final say. If you ever want to film on a military base, the Army or the Navy or whoever, the Marine Corps, wherever you're filming at, they have final say on what gets depicted in your movie. If it's something classified or something like that, they're not going to let that appear so that the fucking Russians can see the movie and find out what we're doing. No. But also the way that the military is depicted, it has to be depicted positively. Not so much today. They just don't make military movies today. Okay, they really don't. All right, but back in the '80s, '70s when they did make military movies, this was like an era of lots of military movies came out in the '80s. Okay, there was Private Benjamin. There was this. There was fucking like Full Metal Jacket. There was Heartbreak Ridge. There was a lot of fucking there was Stripes. That was a funny one. But there was a lot of movies around this time in the '80s. Not so much anymore. But they had to show the military in a positive light. Okay, because they wanted to use these movies as basically a commercial to get the guys to enroll, to get the guys to sign up. Because that's how they recruited people. Okay, they don't do that anymore. Now the military is all a bunch of fucking assholes. Okay, it's all a bunch of fucking queer LGBTQ and all that kind of fucking bullshit. They didn't fucking exist. Yeah, how's that gonna fucking help us when we go to war? It ain't. So let me tell you some advice right now. Start learning Chinese. Okay, but anyway, yeah. So the military today is not what it used to be. Okay, I would not go to war with any of these motherfuckers today, at all. Okay, but back when I went through, it was still like they were still hardcore. Okay. In this movie here, Richard Gere, like I said, his boot camp is a fucking joke. Okay, but it does pull out some stuff about him. Okay, it makes him deal with some things that he doesn't want to deal with. Okay, and that's what I like about the movie. Okay, it kind of brought out his character, who he really is. There's one thing that we know about my time in the military. Okay, is in boot camp. There's this big saying, there's this big phrase. A lot of guys think this. Okay, like a lot of guys that I went to boot camp with, they joined the Marines because it was the toughest one. And we are the toughest one. We do the most battles, we do all that kind of shit. We're the least funded, but we win the most battles, okay? So when you need the fucking battle to be won, we do it, okay? The Army wins the war, but the Marine Corps wins the battles, okay? So we are the fucking toughest. We most definitely are, okay? That's true, okay? But the thing about it is that, it's not the... how to put this, just because we're the toughest doesn't mean that we get like some sort of like grant. I mean, we get respect and all that, but it doesn't mean much to the people outside of our corps, okay? It just means a lot to us, okay? To us Marines, us Devil Dogs, okay? It means a lot to us, okay? But we're the least funded, we are the least everything, okay? Our chow halls are like shit. I went to a what do you call it, an Air Force chow hall once. We went to go visit an Air Force base, and it was like a fucking cafeteria. It was like a nice fucking Luby's cafeteria, and our chow hall was worse than a fucking McDonald's. I mean, like the budget is just not there. We're a department of the Navy. We get the leftovers. Even the equipment that we had was leftovers from the Army. The Army, whenever their shit would break down, they would take it apart. They kept what worked, put it, they take all the parts that still work and made a new tank out of it, and they sold that to us, and that's what we trained on. That's what we went to war with. Like what the fuck, man? But we had the pride. That's what a spirit of corps is what we call it. That's what we did have. We did have that, okay? But that's all we had, okay? We didn't get fucking liberty like everybody else, we didn't, there's a lot of guys out there that are just fucking, we're lonely and shit, especially me in my first year. Oh my God, dude, it fucking sucked, man. I don't want to go through that again. There's no women around. The ones that are around, are all taken, and by taken, I mean like they're fucking like 5 guys already, okay? Like they ain't got room for a 6th, okay? Because one of those 5 guys is their husband, okay? They're already juggling fucking 4 guys outside of their marriage. How are they going to handle a 5th one? You know what I mean? It's difficult, okay? So yeah, absolutely. So that's the thing, we get the respect, but we don't really get anything else. That's all we get, okay? We don't get laid more. We don't get more budget. We don't get more money. Nothing, okay? Yeah, but anyway, that's what we go through, okay? All right. So anyway, where I left off here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a straight man's point of view. We're going to talk about this movie. I'm going to bring in my own anecdotes about my own career in the military and the stuff that I had to go through. Okay, so this movie brings back a lot of those memories about what I had to go through in the military, about my own romances that I had. Okay, and this movie is also a story about that. Okay, the guy that wrote this movie, he actually was an OCD. He went to military school. I mean, he went to officer candidate school for the Navy, which is actually in Pensacola, Florida. It's not in Washington like it shows in this movie. Okay, there weren't a lot of filming on the real base. Okay, and he did meet a girl there, a local girl that worked at a factory. He did fall in love with her, and he wrote a screenplay about it. Okay, but in real life, he fucking left her there. He didn't pick her up and walk her out of that fucking factory like in this movie. Okay, that scene was strictly for the women. Okay, but other than that, the movie's pretty good, and we're gonna talk about that. But I'm gonna give you a straight man's point of view. Okay, just to give you an example. For those of you guys that are watching, I know there's not a lot of guys watching this, but for you guys that are watching this, man, pay attention to what I'm saying. Okay, if you think about going in the military, okay, I'm gonna give you a fucking prep course. This video review is not just a fucking review of the movie. It's a prep course for what's gonna fucking happen to you when you go in the fucking military, okay? And what love and romance is like in the fucking military, okay? The only faithful partner you're gonna have in the fucking military is this, okay? And that's the fucking truth, okay? I know you don't want to hear it. I know no recruiter's gonna fucking tell you this, okay? But it's fucking true, okay? In the Marine Corps at least, okay? Maybe in all the military, but especially in the Marine Corps, dude. If the Marine Corps wanted you to have a fucking wife, okay, they would have issued you one. Okay, that's the truth. All right, so you got to go in there fucking with an open mind, with your eyes open, knowing exactly what's coming. Okay, don't try to get in no fucking relationship. Don't get anything serious. Okay, the only girls you're gonna be able to fuck when you're in the military, active duty in the military, are the daughters of a Marine, which you don't want to fucking do that. The wives of a Marine, which you don't want to fucking do that. Okay, or a Marine yourself, and you don't want to fucking do that either. Okay, so your options are pretty fucking limited, really fucking limited. Okay, so just don't. Okay, my personal advice, what I would say is do what I did. Now I didn't plan this out, okay, but I kind of figured it out while I was there. Okay, do what I did. Do what the other guys that were successful with girls. Okay, do what we did. Okay, we just dated girls and we didn't expect anything in return. Okay, we weren't looking for girlfriends. Okay, we were looking for one night stands. Okay, or we're looking for a regular fuck buddy. Okay, that's it. We were not looking for girlfriends. We were not looking to get married. Not looking to have kids. We weren't looking for any of that shit. Okay, because the guys that were trying to do that, okay, all got fucked over, and they got fucked over bad. Okay, you don't want to do that. You don't want to fucking do that. Okay, anyway, that's my advice. Okay, so I'm gonna give you the honest to God truth of how this ending would have happened. Okay, but let's talk about the movie. Okay. Now, first of all, okay, I am Diego. I'm going to give you a straight man's point of view, okay? I'm going to be completely honest. I got nothing to gain by lying to you, okay? So if you cannot handle the truth, get the fuck out of here right now, okay? I'm going to give it to you straight up, baby, with no lube. No lube here. The real question you need to ask yourself is, can you handle it? Can you handle the truth? Because that's what you're going to get here. I know this ain't that movie, but this is what you're going to get here, okay? I'm going to tell the honest to God truth. A straight man's point of view, okay? Not your fucking gay friends, not your girlfriends, or not your mom and your aunts, because I know it's an older movie and you probably saw it with them. Okay, no. I'm going to tell you the fucking truth from a straight guy's point of view. Okay, that's the point of view you never got when you watch this movie with your grandma and shit, all right? I'm going to tell you the honest to God truth of what it's really like. All right. So here we go. So where did we leave off last time? Okay. So we're introduced to Zach Mayo. He's the main character. Okay. He's going to OCS school over there at Port Rainier in Washington State. Okay. It's an island. Okay. And there's this fucking shithole redneck town outside of it. You have to take a ferry to get over there. Okay. From the civilians have to take a ferry to get to the fucking base. Okay. And these the local girls in town, they do that every weekend so they can meet the guys and fuck them and then try to trap them into getting pregnant and try to trap them into marrying them so they can get the fuck out of that shithole town they're living in. You know, and go off and see the world with an aviator as a husband. Okay, yes, that is true. Okay, I already told you when I went to tank school in Fort Knox, Kentucky, the girls were already waiting for us when we got off the bus. They already knew what time the bus was going to arrive. They knew what day we were going to get there. They knew exactly when our training cycle was over and when we were going to go to the fleet. Okay, they already knew it. They knew all that. They knew our training schedule better than we did. Okay, so they were waiting for us there, okay, and they were catcalling us. Yeah, the women were catcalling us when we were getting off the fucking bus, okay, because let's face it, we were their fucking meal ticket, and I'm going to end the suspense right here, okay, because this movie doesn't show it, okay, but let me tell you, so this movie came out in 1982, okay, when I went through all this shit, it was 1996, that's when I went in the military, okay, and when I got off the bus in 1996 and the girls were all there, okay, yes, I did, I met some of them, you know, I went out with some of them, okay, a couple, and there's one in particular that I really liked a lot. Her name was Kimber, not Kimberly, it was Kimber. She looked like a fucking Barbie doll, like, all my friends were going, oh my God, you're dating a fucking Barbie doll. You know, yeah, she looked like a fucking human Barbie doll. She really did. Okay, but anyway, but a lot of the stuff that happened there, the other guys, because the other guys, they fell for it too. You know, they want to date these girls. Okay, and this is what happens. Okay, typical understand. This is exactly what happens. Okay, so the guys, they hook up with the girls there because, like I said, the girls are waiting for us in the parking lot. They get some libo time. They say, okay, we're going to meet over here. Blah blah. So a bunch of us, you know, we get a taxi or something. We had a taxi, no Uber back then. Okay, and this wasn't our permanent duty station, so most of us did not have a car. Okay, so they would come pick us up, whatever. They go through the gate, whatever, and we go hang out. Then what happens is the guys go in there, they get a steady dose of sex. Okay, they say all the right things, and now you're approaching graduation. You know, our school was only like 3.5 months. So now we're approaching the graduation from the school, and then we're going to get, you know, deployed to our fucking duty station, okay? And that's when the pressure starts coming on to make me your girlfriend. All that kind of shit happens, okay? But the problem is that by that time, right before that happens, okay, that's when you actually go to her place for the first time. She's been holding off going to her place because, you know, like she might live with her folks or some shit, or you know, her apartment's dirty, her roommate's got guys over, that kind of shit, so she doesn't want to go there, that kind of thing. But right before you get deployed, right before you graduate, you go over there and you fucking, that's when she introduced you to her fucking kid, and her kid is fucking black. All right. I'm sorry, man. I'm going to end the suspense right now, okay? No, this didn't happen to me, but it happened to several of my friends. Yeah, she saves that for the end, okay? That's what's gonna happen, all right? I'm sorry, man, but it's true. And then you put two, oh, okay, so she's been kissing up to me so that I can like you know, provide her with some sort of security, so she can I can provide her with a place to live, you know, with insurance, with all this kind of fucking shit, you know. Damn it, man. Now, I'm not saying this always happens, okay, but usually, typically that's what happens, okay? They, you know, you find out at the last minute about their kid, okay? And the kid's not always black. I'm not saying that, you know. But I said that story because there was a friend of mine that's what happened to him. I was like, what? We're talking marriage and she got a black kid. Yeah, I know. It sucks, man. It sucks. But anyway, yeah, they kept that a secret, okay, till the end, okay? So that's typically what's going to happen, guys. So if you ever go out there, just keep that in mind, okay? If you're ready to be a fucking stepdad, by all means, join the fucking military, and I hope you survive, all right? But if you're not ready to be an automatic stepdad in exchange for a fucking piece of ass, then yeah, don't do it. Don't fucking do it, all right? Because that shit's real and does fucking happen, okay? Anyway, all right, so moving right along. So we're introduced also to Paula and to Lynette. There's these two local girls, Laverne and Shirley, basically. They work at a fucking cardboard paper stationery factory off town. In the weekends, they go down to the base to see the new recruits. They knew exactly when the new recruits were going to get there. Okay, so they go there, and what they do is they have these shitty clothes on because they work in a factory. So what they do is they rush to make the ferry so they can get to the island, okay? And while they're driving, while they're speeding down there and listening to Joan Jett, okay, they're changing their clothes inside the car while they're driving, okay? They're getting out of their fucking jeans and their and their shirts and shit and their hats, okay, and their bandanas, they're getting out of that and they're putting on their dresses and their high heels and their makeup and shit, right? And they're doing their hair in the car, right? So they make it there and they only go there just to show off, how they look. Okay, of course the guys all notice them, okay. Zach and his friend Sid Worley, another candidate there, they notice these girls, and they say something like, "Oh, don't worry, we'll see you in a month when you get Liberty," that kind of thing. Because the first 4 weeks they're not gonna have any free time. They're gonna be stuck on base, getting fucking killed by the fucking drill instructor Foley. Okay, Gunny Foley. All right, we don't call him Gunnery Sergeant, we call him Gunny. Okay, Gunny Foley. All right, he's gonna be fucking killing them. Okay, and getting them in fucking shape, teaching them how to drill, teaching them how to march. Marching them to classes. Like drilling them everywhere. Fucking room inspections, uniform inspections, hygiene inspections, all sorts of fucking shit. Okay, they got to go through all that kind of shit that I had to go through in boot camp. All right, but it's a lot nicer there. Okay, they got fucking nice air conditioned room with nice bunks and furniture, and they get the weekends off. What the fuck kind of boot camp is that? Anyway, so that's what's going on. Okay, and of course they're horny this whole time. They just got their heads shaved. They know they're not gonna see any pussy for a while. So looking at those hot girls walking around in their summer dresses, that got them pretty fucking horny. It would have got me horny too. Yeah, well, it did get me horny because I remember being in fucking boot camp, dude. And the first time we saw a female walk by us, it was like, all of us were just fucking dying, dude. It's fucking insane. We want to like some fucking blue balls. Oh my god. And for those of you that think, oh well, why didn't you just jerk it off? Hey, there is no jerking off in boot camp, okay? You cannot touch yourself in boot camp, okay? What I should say, you can't do it without someone watching you, okay? There's no doors in the fucking shitters, okay? Everything's out in the open, okay? You can't jerk off anywhere without getting caught, okay? There's no privacy, okay? So no, you can't even touch yourself, okay? Unless you risk getting caught, okay? And if you get caught, there was a guy in fucking when I went to MCT, it's military combat training, that got caught. Trust me, you don't want to be him. Anyway, moving right along. Okay, so they're PTing, that's physical, it's physical training, okay? It's basically gym class, okay? They're PTing, they're running, to cadence and shit, out on the beach and shit. And they're talking about how, they all want to be fucking fighter pilot jets. That's where they're going to OCS, okay? Although they did say that every class cycle, only like 2 ever make it to fly jets. The rest of them have to do other bullshit. And they go, well, we're gonna make it. I'm gonna make it, because they all think they're gonna be the ones that fucking make it, all right? So that's going on here, okay? They all want to fly jets, that kind of shit. Foley shames them for eyeballing. When they're done with their run, we see a graduating class. That's a class that's it's about to graduate, so they got different colored PT gear on and stuff. All right, and Gunny Foley tells them not to eyeball them, don't look at them because they're about to graduate, and you're not even good enough to even look at them. Which is true. They did that to us as well. Okay, when we were brand new recruits, we were out there drilling in the fucking 100-degree weather. We would look at the parade area, the parade grounds right there, and watch a class that was practicing the graduation ceremony, and they were yelling at us and telling us, "You're never going to be there. None of you are going to make it. You don't rate to be like them. You don't rate to be over there." They had 3 months on us. Okay, so they're about to graduate. We had 3 months to go before we were there. Okay, so yeah, it fucking sucks. It fucking sucks, and that's what Gunny Foley's doing to them, telling them, "You don't even rate to look at that class over there." That kind of shit. You all are a bunch of the most pathetic class I've ever seen. And his drill instructor Brim and all that kind of shit. And honestly, he's a lot nicer than the drill instructors that I fucking had in boot camp, man. Oh my god, man. Sergeant Rockamore, if you were watching this, oh my god, dude, you would not survive, Sergeant Rockamore. Okay, that motherfucker. Oh my god. Yes, he's as bad as his fucking name sounds. Anyway, moving right along. So they're PTing and shit, and they're not allowed to look at them. He tells the whole class, "You're the most pathetic class I've ever had the displeasure of being assigned." Okay. Later on, the candidates are back in their room. Okay, and they're shining their uniforms. They're shining their belt buckles. Their shoes. All that kind of stuff that they have to do so they can pass inspection. If they don't pass inspection, they don't get any liberty. Okay, that's how it works in the military. You have to pass. Your rack has to be made correctly. Your room's got to fucking pass the cleaning inspection. Everything's got to be fucking on point. Your locker has got to pass inspection. All your uniform, there can't be any IP. That's Irish pen. There's the little threads that are sticking out. All of them got to be gone, or else you will fail. I mean, that's how everything's got to be labeled correctly. They're going to measure how you fold your shirts. Okay, 6 inches there, 6 inches there, 3 inches there. Like they're going to measure that shit. Okay, how it's stacked, the cleanliness of your wall locker, how you fold your fucking underwear. Everything on there gets checked, all right? And so that's what they got to do. They're going through all that shit, okay? So one of the candidates is trying to shine their uniforms and stuff, their buckle. Now Mayo, he found a little side business going on here. What Mayo's been doing is he's been buying uniform items from the locals, from the people that are actually stationed, the ones that are actually on active duty, okay? He gives them money. They sell him polished shoes, polished belt buckles, polished brass. Everything is already spit shined and perfect, okay, and ready to pass inspection, so that the candidates don't have to worry about doing it themselves. They can just buy it. He's willing to sell this shit, okay? So one of the recruits there, he's like, oh my god, dude, I can't get this thing to shine right, you know? And Mayo's like, hey, well, look what I got right here, you know? He's been hiding this contraband stuff above his rack. Okay, that's his bed, his bunk bed. He's on the top bunk bed. Well, underneath the ceiling panel there, he's been hiding shit to sell to the other candidates, especially the ones that are in his room with him. There's 4 of them in that room, okay? So instead of them having to fucking polish it themselves or shine it, he just sells it to them, okay? He's got a little side hustle going on here, which can get them kicked out of the school for doing that. But that's the kind of person Mayo is, okay? He sees a side hustle. His dad was that way, and he's that way. He finds a way to go around the system, okay? That's the kind of person that Mayo is. He's a manipulator, okay? Even that bunk that he has is not really his. It was assigned to Daniels. Daniels is the ginger, fucking played by David Caruso. Remember him from CSI Miami? Okay, well, that was his bunk. But Mayo got in the room first, and he switched the helmet and put his own name, his own helmet on top to make it look like he was assigned the top bunk when he was actually assigned the one on the bottom. Okay, that's the kind of person that Mayo is. Okay, he's an asshole. He's not an evil person, but he is an asshole. Okay, and this is what he's decided to exploit the situation and try to make some money. Okay, off of the recruits, off of the candidates that are there. Okay, that's the kind of person that Mayo is. All right, and that's our protagonist. All right. You know, so he's got that hiding spot scene, and they're all afraid that, you know what, and the guy tells me, is this worth, this little side hustle you got going on here, is this worth all of us getting in trouble and getting kicked out of the school? And he's like, I don't see anybody complaining about it but you. So he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit about the other candidates that are with him. He only gives a shit about himself, okay? And this scene portrays that very well. Okay, now the obstacle course happens, okay? And Mayo's actually doing very good on the obstacle course, okay? You know, he's jumping over the stuff. He's hanging from there. He's swinging through everything that he has to do. He's in his PT gear, and he actually comes in first place. You know, so he's beating everybody else. Okay, so that's something he is really good at, is the physicality of boot camp, okay? Running the obstacle course, crawling through the mud underneath the wire, all that kind of shit that we had to do, okay? We call it the ropes course, but we had to do that as well, okay? Yeah, he's very good at it. He actually looks forward to it. He's beating everyone else. So he's kicking ass there, okay? He makes the run there at 10:25, which I guess is almost the record, okay? So Gunny Foley tells him, not bad, Mayo, you know? He's like, not bad, Mayo, for a beginner. So basically he's telling him, hey, that was, you beat everybody else, but it ain't good enough. Okay, so, and that's true. Okay, in boot camp, the drill instructors, even when you do great, the drill instructors will never compliment you. They will never tell you did a great job. They will never ever. Their job is not to fucking tell you how fucking awesome you are at something. Their job is to make you get better. There's no such thing as doing something perfectly. You will always get yelled at. You will never satisfy their requirements. You will never do anything the right way. Okay, there's only their way, and you will never do that. You'll never do it exactly how they want you to do it. Okay, no matter how hard you try, even if you did it perfectly, they'll still find a way to make it how you fucked it up, so that they can yell at you some more and punish you some more. Okay, that's just the nature of the beast. Okay, and that's what happens to Mayo here. Okay. He got complimented without getting complimented. All right. So the obstacle course, he does very well. Mayo goes off by himself later on. While the rest of the class is finishing, like he said, he went first. Okay, he beat everybody, so he goes down, he sits down, he takes a break, and he just sits there and he looks at all the other candidates that are crossing the finish line after him. Okay, now when they cross the finish line, they turn around and they start yelling at the other candidates to come on. They start giving them encouragement, like, "Come on, you can do it," Except for Mayo. Mayo does not do that. He is not a fucking team player. He's not a part of this unit. Okay, he is separate. He's by himself. He's isolated himself. Okay, he doesn't see himself as one of them, and that's a bad thing, because when you're in boot camp, okay, it's all about the whole team is together. Okay, that means if one person on the team fucks up, the whole team fucking pays for it. Okay, it's all about unity. It's all about working together. You have to work. You don't have a choice. You have to work together. There's no such thing as fucking being an isolationist when you're in fucking boot camp. Okay, you all have to work together. If even one of you has ostracized themselves from the team, okay, the whole fucking team will suffer for it. Okay, and Mayo doesn't seem to understand that. He's so used to being on his own and not trusting people, not helping anybody else except himself, that he doesn't understand. Okay, that everyone's in it together. He's in it for himself. Okay, and don't think that Gunny Foley didn't notice that either. Of course he noticed that. All right. So Foley, deep down under all the bullshit, So deep down underneath all the bullshit, he looks over there and he sees fucking Seeger. Now Seeger's the one female that's in their class. Okay, Seeger, they call her Seagar. Okay, well she's trying to do the obstacle course, but she cannot get up. She doesn't have enough body strength, upper body strength, to pull herself up the rope and over the fucking wall that's there. Okay, so she cannot make it. So of course Gunny Foley goes up there and gives her some encouragement by telling her what a fucking piece of shit she is, what a second class citizen she is. You know, what's the matter? Daddy didn't buy you that pony when you turned 16. you know, all this bullshit bravado you got there, Seeger, when deep down inside, you know you're just a second class citizen. And of course that fucks her up mentally, so she can't. So she just walks around the fucking wall instead of climbing over it, you know. Well, I know it's very misogynistic what he did, but what he was trying to do is he was trying to get her there. He's being that way to everybody. He's not signaling her out. She's not the only one getting treated like this. Everybody's getting treated this way, okay? That's also the nature of the training, okay? It's not personal. It's not personal, okay? That's the problem that I had in boot camp. I took shit personal and I shouldn't have, but I did. Okay, I even got to a fight. Well, we'll get to that when that happens in the movie, because it happened in the movie too. Okay, So anyway, so she can't get over the wall. She walks around. Okay, he tells her like, you know what? You bullshit. You're just a second class citizen. You'll never be able to give orders to men. Yeah, it sucks, okay? Anyway, so that's going on here, okay? Now, around this time in the 80s, like I said a minute ago, there were so many military movies coming out at this time, all right? It's very popular. You had this movie called Taps, which came out in 1981. You had Stripes, that was with Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, okay, and John Candy, okay? And that also came out in 1981. That was a funny movie, though. Yeah, Private Benjamin, that was with, what the fuck's her name? Why can't I think of her name right now? But anyway, yeah, Private Benjamin. That was Goldie Hawn. Sorry, Goldie Hawn was in that movie. Okay, that was 1980. Okay, you had Up the Academy. That was also in 1980. You had Lords of Discipline. That was 1983. You had Biloxi Blues. That was with Matthew Broderick and Christopher Walken, and that was in 1988. You had, of course, fucking Maverick himself, Top Gun. With Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer, and that was in 1986. You had Heartbreak Ridge with Clint Eastwood and Mario Van Peebles. Yeah, he was in that one. I know, I've seen it. They used to call me Swede my first year in the Marine Corps. You need to watch the movie to understand it yet, but it's called Heartbreak Ridge. That was in 1986, and of course Full Metal Jacket, which I saw with my dad in 1987. That is a pretty realistic depiction of boot camp in the Marine Corps. Okay, although I didn't go there. That was in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. I was in MCRD San Diego. I was more like what was it called? What the call was that movie? The one with Jake Gyllenhaal. You know the one I'm talking about? Fucking Jarhead. Yeah, that's what I had to go through. Jarhead, that movie, Jarhead. That's what I had to go through, okay, with Jake Gyllenhaal. That came out in the mid-2000s, all right? I read that book, too. Anthony Swafford. Yeah, that guy was a real fucking hardcore Marine. All right, Full Metal Jacket, 1987, like I said, so there was a lot of military movies coming out in the 80s, okay, which you would not see that today, okay? Nobody's patriotic about their country anymore, okay? If you wear the American flag or so much shit, then you're automatically considered a racist, okay? I'm not even fucking white, okay? But they'll call you a racist no matter what color you are, okay? If you're proud of the United States of America. That's just the way things are right now. Okay, now it's not really this way, okay, that's just what the media wants to tell you, okay, but I'm gonna tell you the fucking truth because that's what I do here, okay? There's nothing wrong with being proud of your fucking country. Our country's got a lot of problems, but it's still the best one in the whole fucking world, all right? It's a lot better than the other fucking shit out there, okay? Yeah, try bringing your fucking feminism over to fucking China and see what fucking happens over there. Yeah, exactly, Anyway, at least here you can do it. All right. Anyway, so later on, Mayo has trouble. We see Mayo in his class there, okay, and it's an aerodynamics class, okay, and you can tell that everybody is kind of understanding it. They got the slide rules and the textbooks right there, but Mayo is having a very difficult time with aerodynamics. He doesn't understand the physics of flying. He's probably not very good at math. And you can tell by the look on his face that he doesn't really understand the lessons that are being taught. This is gonna be a problem for him. All right, he doesn't really understand it. Okay. Later on, Sid follows Mayo and catches and finds out how Mayo's been getting all this contraband snuck into the room. He's been buying it from a guy that's actually stationed there on base. Okay, he buys it and then he sells it. All right. Well, Sid catches him do that. He sees how he's doing. He's like, I thought that's what you were doing. He catches him, okay, and basically he tells him, hey, listen, since unless you want me to report you, you're gonna have to hook me up with some of this stuff, all right? And what Mayo tells me is, I tell you what, Sid, because they do get along, they are friendly to each other and stuff, they get along, and he's like, hey, tell you what, Sid, you know what? If you can help me get through my aerodynamics class, then you can write your own ticket. Okay, so basically, you help me and I'll help you. Okay, so they bond over this experience. They end up becoming their best friends in this class. All right. Okay, so that's the deal that they made. All right. Later on, they have a military dance. Like, what the fuck? A military dance? What kind of fucking boot camp is this? Okay, this is definitely, we had no fucking dance when I was in fucking boot camp. Are you out of your fucking mind? Anyway, the band is playing there. There's a band playing there, okay? And the song they're playing is Tie a Yellow Ribbon Around the Old Oak Tree. It's been good for me. And if you tie that ribbon round the old oak tree. Yeah, I've heard that fucking song before. It's by Tony Orlando, okay? It's a piece of shit fucking love song from the Vietnam era, okay? You gotta look it up, all right? You gotta look it up, okay? But it's catchy, and once you start hearing it, you can't fucking unhear it. You keep hearing it. I'm hearing it right now, okay? Anyway, so they're playing Tie a Yellow Ribbon Round the Old Oak Tree. It's about a guy coming back from fucking Vietnam, and he doesn't know if his girlfriend's still waiting for him or not. So he says, like, before I get back home, tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree, and if I see that ribbon there, that means that you're waiting for me. If I don't see the ribbon there, that means you're fucking somebody else and you left. So he's singing about hoping that there's a ribbon around the old oak tree. Yeah, that's basically what the song's about. Yeah, Tony Orlando. Anyway, basically what it is, it's all military men there, okay, and all civilian women. Like I said, it's all fucking civilian women that are there that came in on the ferry from out of town, okay? They're all there, and Sid and Mayo there, they're wallflowering. They're just, because like I said, the men outnumber the women fucking 2,500 to 1. Okay, so the men are all standing there in their fucking white outfits, okay, looking around, okay? We see, what's his name, De La Sera. We see him scope out the room, and then he finds some girl to go dance with and shit. And we even see Seagar, okay? We even see her grab some fucking stud and take him down to go dancing. Okay. And then they look over and then they see Paula and Lynette over there in their summer dresses looking fucking hot. Okay, and they recognize the girls. Those are the girls who are watching them do push-ups, okay, earlier in the movie, all right? So they ask for an introduction, okay, and they get one from some old fucking lady. I guess that's her job, is to introduce the women to the fucking guys that are there, all right? So they get the introduction, okay? Now, Sid immediately likes Lynette because she's the blonde, and naturally, that's the one I would go for as well. Now, Paula's a nicer person, but if we're going just on appearance, I would gravitate more towards the blonde myself because I like blondes, okay? Men, we tend to be attracted to, well, most of us tend to be attracted to the girls that are different than us, okay? Like, I'm mostly attracted to women with blonde hair or red hair or light brown hair, that kind of thing. My eyes just gravitate towards that, okay? Yes, I have dated some brunettes as well, but typically, I usually don't date women that have the same color hair as I do. For some reason, I don't know why that is. That's just the way I am, all right? So Sid likes Lynette, and he automatically takes her to go dancing. So Mayo is stuck with Paula, okay? Mayo's stuck with Paula. Luckily, Mayo is very confident talking to women. He knows how to flirt. He knows how to keep a conversation going. He knows how to fucking push her buttons, and get her to smile and get her to laugh and that kind of thing. So he's very comfortable talking to women. Of course, he grew up in a fucking whorehouse, fucking prostitutes since he was fucking 11 years old. Of course he's confident around women, okay? He's been doing women fucking most of his life, over half of his life by now, okay? Thanks to his fucking dad, who always had a stream of fucking hookers inside his apartment growing up, all right? So yeah, he's very at ease with women, okay? Now, I wouldn't say he knows a lot about relationships. I don't think he does, okay? But he knows a lot about fucking girls, okay? And so, he's not going to be shy or anything or play coy with a girl, okay? To him, Paul is just another pretty girl out of the fucking hundreds that he's already had, probably thousands by this time, okay? All right, well, we'll get to that in the next review. But right now, I'm going to stop it. I want to thank you very much for watching this review as long as you have, and I will see you soon on the next one. Bye.